Ciao and welcome back to my channel where we explore how to develop your soft skills and create the life you desire. If you're not part of the Soft Skills Academy yet, you can join us for a free session in the link down below. And today we are going to start by having a sneak peek into time management techniques, especially the technique that everyone loves about how to plan your week. This is called the desire technique, and it is a technique that I developed it actually last year when I was writing my book Genius by Choice, in order to put together all the common mistakes that people make when planning, how to avoid them, and how to follow all the principles of good time management all in one in the desire technique. So there's 6 steps as the letters in desire, and each step represents something that you need to do in order to create your plan of the week. We're going to start here from one assumption, which is that you know what you want to do that week. If you don't know what you want to do that week, there are other videos that you can watch about, for example, the 4 areas or the principles that you need to follow when planning your time, or I can create some more. But right now we'll start from the place in which you know what you want to do that week. Letter D. Letter D is for decide. So, if you know about mind maps, amazing, you can do it in the form of a mind map. If you are not really familiar with mind maps yet, what you can do is to make a list. But the first step is write down all the things that you would love to do that week. Without overthinking about how much time you have, how many things you can actually do, doesn't matter. Just write them down and make sure that you have them all in front of you. So write everything down in the form of a mind map, even simpler, but even the list will work very well. What I would suggest if you use a list instead of a mind map is categorize things. So maybe think, okay, in terms of career, what is it that I want to get done? In terms of family, what is it that I need to get done? In terms of career, maybe I'm taking care of different projects, so maybe you subcategorize the different projects. Just try not to have just a long list, but as a rule of thumb, if you have more than 5-6 items, you should have a category for that. And that in general, you can follow it in life. It's just a free principle here because that helps your mind to process it a bit better. Okay, so first step, write down every single thing that you would like to get down. Second step is E, and E stands for estimate. What does it mean? That it's impossible to know if you will be able to do all these things if you don't first estimate how long each of these things will take. One of the main mistakes that people make is that they say, yeah, I'll do this. But in their mind, they have no clue of how long each of those tasks will take. That, of course, creates a big problem in planning. Now, at the beginning, if you aren't really used to estimating how long things will take, you may go a bit off track. It doesn't matter, try. The more you do it week by week, the easier it will get to understand, okay, how long it will actually take you. Each task can have very different times. Write down what you estimate to be the time, and then we'll see over time how to become more precise in the estimation. At that point, we can move on to step number 3. And step number 3 is S for scheduled. What does it mean? That in order to see if all those things will fit in your diary, what do we need to know? We need to know what you have already scheduled for this week. So you need to take another piece of paper or another page on your iPad and put down on there, with all the days of the week, so from Monday to Sunday, all the appointments that have already been scheduled. I would suggest you, especially at the beginning, to do it on paper or on an iPad, not on the calendar that you have on your computer or on your iPad. But why? Because it will help you to have a better perception of everything. At that point, we can go to letter I. And I stands for investigate, one of my favorite words. What do I mean? That you need to investigate because now you have on one side all the things that you would like to do with the times, so D and E. On the other side, you have the schedule of the week with all the already planned meetings and appointments. So what do you need to do? You need to see if there is enough time on the schedule to fit all the things that are in the map. And given that you have all the times written down, you will also know how long you would need in total. So when you add up all the things that you put in your initial list, you will see that maybe you need 30 hours, maybe you need 15, maybe 45, who knows? But you have a total number. Do you have enough hours in your schedule to do those things? Yes or no? And that's the investigation phase, understanding if you have enough time. At that point, if the answer is yes, you move on to the last phase. But very often the answer is no, I don't have enough time. So at that point, we need to go to letter R. And R stands for revisit. So when you realize that you have too many things that you would love to do compared to the time that you actually have at your disposal, what do you need to do? You need to revisit your initial idea. So how can you do that? First of all, understand how to prioritize things. There's a technique that I love in terms of prioritization that's called Moscow, because it's a technique that allows you, it's a strategy that allows you to identify which things are a priority compared to others. How does it work? So every consonant of Moscow represents some different level of urgency, let's say. So M stands for must, S stands for should, C stands for could, and W stands for want. So what does it mean? It helps me a lot when I look at it. Okay, is this a must? Is it a should? Is it a could? Is it a want? Because that helps you to understand what needs a priority compared to other things. Also, when you prioritize, make sure that you include actions for later deadlines, but that are big projects that you need to get started with now. Because at times when people prioritize, they just look at the deadline and they say, oh yeah, it's due in 3 weeks, so it's not urgent. Before saying that, check how long it takes to get it done. Because maybe this week you want to already start taking some action towards that deadline as well. Okay, so prioritize, see if there's anything that you can delegate. That's another big one. And just make sure that you select the actions that you can do. Because over planning will not help you anyway. It's not that if you write it down in your diary, it's going to get done. It's better to be realistic there, but get to the end of the week with a sense of fulfillment because you've done everything you wanted, rather than being over-optimistic, hoping that things will get done by themselves, because I'm sorry to tell you, but they won't, okay? At that point, there is letter E, and E stands for end the plan. So what do you need to do? You need to take the actions that are on the first sheet of paper and place them there on your diary, like in the right slots in which you want to take care of those. Now, this of course varies a lot based on the kind of work that you do. So for some people, it will be better to have different slots, exactly what to do. For some other people, it will be better to know that in a macro slot, you take care of a lot of things and you choose the order. But that depends a lot on your cognitive profile as well, on how your brain processes things. So don't worry too much about that. Just make sure for now that you do it in the easiest way for you. That's enough, okay? Then if you want to have a chat with me, just reach out and we can see what options we have to help you out and understand what the best way to plan is for you specifically. Now, there would be so many more things to say about the desire technique, about the principles behind it. What I can do is this. I can offer you to reach out to me. So if you want to understand a bit more about how to make the desire technique work, reach out to me and I'm going to send you an extract of my book, Genius by Choice, the extract on time management, so that you can read it out and go a bit deeper on all these topics. Because you know what? Productivity, at times it's a term that has been used so much that we kind of think is very, very shallow. Yeah, I need to be productive, efficient, and so on. Reality is that in the moment in which we are not productive, in the moment in which we are not on top of things, we just get carried away, we feel overwhelmed, we feel drained, we don't have the emotional state that we would like to have. We don't get to do all the things that help us to reach the life that we want. So it's much, much deeper than we may think at times. And even just having some help, like the desire technique, will help you a lot to feel that you are managing your time, not the opposite way around. And that's extremely, extremely important. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you want the extract from Genius by Choice, reach out to me so that I can send it to you. And I hope to see you in one of the sessions of the Soft Skills Academy. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.